Well, Jack, great to see you here at Oulton Park. A fantastic weekend ahead we've got. How are you feeling going into this race?
Feeling quite confident. I saw Dan and Lee went a bit quicker than me. I came in forward. I could get the pole time looking at my dash, but nah, Dan and Lee were a little bit of a margin quicker than me. But hopefully we'll get a good start on the next race and try and get a podium. That's what we're hoping for.
Excellent stuff. I mean, yeah, you had a good run out at Silverstone last time out. Are we hoping for the same today?
Yeah, we're hoping for the same today. I'm a little bit worried about the reverse grid in race 2 because I feel like it's quite a hard circuit to overtake and everything. But we're going to aim for that podium like at Silverstone on our first race.
Excellent stuff. The car looks fantastic as well behind, and talk us through some of the stickers you've got on there.
Well, we got Track It Now, which sponsors me for the whole series, and we also got Live Lap Time, and that's on the back, and that also sponsors a bit of my like the tyres and everything for the series. But yeah, they helped me through a lot.
Excellent stuff. Well, I say, car looks fantastic. Hopefully the weather holds out today. It's the grey clouds are looming, and yeah, we shall see you out on track.
Thank you very much.
But the red lights go out and the race is underway. No Dean Warren, he has engine issues, I'm afraid, but I think most of the rest of them are there. The race gets underway and Dan Clues is coming through the field in 5th place, but the pole position car of James Hills, the teammate in the similar pale blue colour scheme, is behind Nikita Abramov though at the moment as they make their way down towards Cascades for the first time. I think everyone that started has got away safely. And it looks like it is Abramov in the TSR, the Team Sellers Racing colours, that's out there in front at the moment.
Yeah, Hill's second, and then 3rd place for Elliot Mitchell, ahead of Adam Walker, who wasn't away that well. I watched Lee Morgan and Dan Clues closely off the line. They both got good starts, but just couldn't go anywhere with that momentum. There, though, is Lee Morgan. He is now at the inside of Mitchell for 3rd. Oh, and then side by side, that's Walker. No, it's not Walker. Who's that going up the inside? Jack Tomlin, I think, going up the inside of Mitchell as well. So the new order as they come out of the hairpin. Abramov leading, Hill's second, but Lee Morgan 3rd, making much better progress, critically, than his sparring partner from race 1, Dan Clues.
Absolutely, 2 of the drivers that haven't made the start of this second race, Matthew Manette with chassis damage and Paul Butcher with a hole in the oil tank. So they are not out for this race, I'm afraid. So it's Abramov leading, 2nd place is Hills, 3rd is Lee Morgan, 4th is Jack Tomlin, and then 5th is Elliot Mitchell in the green car. That's the way of things at the moment. It's a 15-minute race. That's probably going to equate to 10 laps for these cars. The best lap time in the earlier race was a 1:36.34 for Lee Morgan, the race winner.
Back through Druids they come then towards Lodge Corner. I don't think it's going to be long before Lee Morgan takes 2nd place here from the pole sitter James Hills. In fact, he goes for it straight away on the inside at Lodge Corner, and Lee Morgan is now into P2. Oh, Hills just snatches a break there, runs a bit wide, and so Jack Tomlin might be able to capitalise on that. They come across the line, and Lee Morgan's going for the race lead. Nikita Abramov must have had a moment through Lodge Corner, and so through into the lead, remarkably, goes Lee Morgan. He wasn't quite leading at the line. In fact, there was another dead heat between the two of them as they actually started the 2nd lap, but pretty much from 8th to 1st in a lap there for Lee Morgan. And Dan Clues hasn't gained a single place. He's still 7th position, and that is, I think, going to prove critical here for Lee Morgan because he's got the track position, he's got the clean air, and no one immediately behind him has the pace to go with him.
Yeah, after Morgan, really, the next one to have made a good start is Tomlin, really, isn't it? Up to 4th place. So he's gone in the right direction. Booth is there in 6th, so he's not gone any further forward. Tomlin made up 1 place, but yeah, Lee Morgan there, absolutely flying, really. There's Booth, and you can see in that sort of dark burgundy coloured car, number 1. 2016 Sports Specials champion in this category last year, and it looks like he's about to challenge Elliot Mitchell for 5th place as they come down the hill. But look at that, Lee Morgan now he's in front, getting away, and that's James Hills in 3rd place that was locking up big time there as they came down into Hislops, and Jack Tomlin now is right under his rear wing because of that, but really 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th right together as fast as you can say it.
And whilst that was happening, Dan Clues actually got up the inside of Matthew Booth and took a place away from him, so Clues has now gained a place into 6th, but the damage is done, I think, because the race leader Lee Morgan is getting away. Nose to tail here, down into Lodge Corner, and up the inside goes Jack Tomlin for 3rd position now. So that's another place lost for James Hills. The 2nd lap in a row he's lost a spot into Lodge Corner. Nikita Abramov, though, comes off the corner better this time, so hangs on to 2nd place. In fact, Hills is fighting back now and draws back level with Tomlin into Old Hall Corner. He's on the outside line, though, so Jack Tomlin will hang on the inside, gets sideways on the exit. Elliot Mitchell closing in as well. He's still getting very close indeed. Elliot Mitchell pulls out of line, tries to get past James Hills into Denton's, no way through, and in the end, despite a lot of jockeying for position, they stay in the same order.
They do indeed. So Dan Clue's just starting to make a bit of a move then, up to 6th position, Booth down to 7th, Walker 8th. There is Clues now just in behind the green car, number 11, Elliot Mitchell. A bit further up though, Tomlin's made a move on Abramov there to get up into 2nd position, I think. Yes, he has. So Tomlin about 3.5 seconds behind the race leader Lee Morgan. But there's Clues, 2nd in the championship last year, just ahead of last year's champion Matthew Booth. Pleased with that perfect start with 3 wins out of 3 at Silverstone. Finding things, well, tough here. To be fair, it was tough in the reverse grid race at Silverstone as well. It was only towards the end when he got into the lead. He didn't do a Lee Morgan, basically, and get from 8th to 1st on the first lap.
And that's the key, especially here, because it's not easy to overtake, even if you've got that significant speed advantage. We saw that from Morgan against Clues in race 1. Morgan cleared quicker, but couldn't just drive straight through. Dan Clues, though, is trying to drive alongside Elliot Mitchell there for 5th place as they go over Clay Hill. Wait and see if he made that stick. Lee Morgan is a country mile ahead already. The gap officially 3.1 seconds back to, it was Nikita Abramov, of course, in 2nd. It is no longer. It's now Jack Tomlin. And then Abramov and Hills are side by side for 3rd into Lodge Corner. Clues did not get past Elliot Mitchell, so he is still down in 6th place. They come across the start-finish line then, and it is the fight for 3rd. Abramov, Hills, Mitchell, Clues, and then Booth just with them as well. Together, and in fact 3 wide into Old Hall Corner. That surely won't work. How did they avoid each other? No places changed that time, but Mitchell was going up the inside of Hills, who in turn was up the inside of Abramov, and there was a big squeeze on the apex.
Well, it's fantastic racing, this, and this is what the reverse grid can do. It just mixes things up. You've got some drivers that are a little bit quicker on the back, or behind some slower drivers as one's into the pit lane. Who is that? Is that the Fork? I think that's Dan Gore, isn't it? Again, he's not had a good day, I'm afraid, and out of the race. But yeah, it really engenders this kind of racing. So you've got Clues now ahead of his teammate Hills, and then you've got Mitchell, and then Booth is trying to get past Mitchell as well, and up into what will be 6th place. So Morgan, the leader, number 56, well out in front, 4.3 seconds clear of Tomlin, but it's now Abramov in 3rd place, and he's doing a great job here to try and keep the rest behind him, including now the man that did so well at Silverstone, Dan Clues, and is succeeding so far. Hills then in 5th, Mitchell in 6th, Booth in 7th, and then Adam Walker in 8th place, and Billy Stiles actually in 9th place, not too far behind, and actually gaining, I think, on the cars in front.
Yes, he is actually, yeah, you're right, 39.8, certainly matching those ones in front of him at the moment. Adam Walker, though, not with quite the pace that he had in race 1, languishing down in 8th place. Right, here comes Clues on the inside of Abramov. This is for a podium position now for Dan Clues, and he should go through. Yes, this has been a good lap from Dan. He started the lap 6th. He's going to end it in 3rd position with still just over 8 minutes to go. Over Deer Leap, across the start-finish line, and Clues comes through in P3 now. Then Nikita Abramov down to 4th, and then side-by-side for 5th, Elliot Mitchell on the outside. Well, he was making some great overtakes into Old Hall Corner on the inside in race 1. That time swept around the outside of James Hills. We didn't catch it on the cameras, but I saw it out of the window. He has gone through now, so Mitchell into the top 5, and Hills just keeps Matthew Booth at bay. Elliot Mitchell is very, very brave into that first corner, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly is, and that is standing in good stead, and he's still there in 6th position. There is Hills then, 5th position I should say. Just behind him is Booth, and Adam Walker in 8th place, and Billy Stiles just out of shot there in 9th place, who didn't finish race 1 at Silverstone with oil pressure issues, but as he gets racing under his belt, he's new to car racing, he's just going to get quicker and quicker. I think Billy Stiles is going to be a name to watch out for during the balance of this season and perhaps into next season as well. He's one of the 2, along with Tomlin, Motorsport UK Academy students, racing in F1000 this year. It's great that they are racing within this championship.
Yeah, back through Nickelbrook then goes the number 7 car of James Hills, who's slowly fallen down the order, but he's put up a good fight here. So too Nikita Abramov, the 2 that shared the front row. They've not plummeted back down towards the positions from which they finished the previous race, as the top 3 are now pretty secure in their places. Lee Morgan, 56, leads the way. Number 60, Jack Tomlin, in 2nd, is quicker than him actually, but the gap is over 4 seconds. Real battling going on behind as James Hills loses another spot now, this time to Matthew Booth at Lodge Corner. So Matthew Booth moves into 6th place, 2 places lost this time for James Hills, and now Adam Walker closes in to try and attack as well. Can he get up the inside of the blue number 7 car into Old Hall? The answer appears to be no. And then you're quite right, Ian, Billy Starr's not far behind them either. So slowly but surely the order is kind of putting itself back together to the order we expected, but it's taken a little longer than I expected.
Yeah, we're halfway through in terms of laps as well now, 5 out of the 10 that we expected. It's 56 Lee Morgan that's leading by 3.5 seconds from Jack Tomlin, who on the last lap did the best lap of the race, a 1:36.78 for Jack Tomlin. Third, number 2, Dan Clues. Fourth, number 11, Elliot Mitchell. Fifth, number 55, Nikita Abramov. Sixth, number 1, Matthew Booth. Seventh is number 7, James Hills. Eighth is number 14, Adam Walker. 9:41, Billy Stiles. And 10th, number 33, Robert Bailey. We are watching on screen the battle between Nikita Abramov at the moment, who gets it all wrong there, doesn't he, really? And is off over the grass, and he will have lost a hatful of places. And all the hard work that he was doing earlier in the race has come to nothing.
That's a shame, though. It was the tiniest mistake. Just carried too much speed into Britain's, clipped the curb wrong, and couldn't get it into the right-hander then. So, that'll drop him. He's fallen right behind that whole group, hasn't he? So probably somewhere down to about 9th place for Nikita. But it gains everybody else a position within that bunch. So, he has carried on. All on his own now, so no more pressure at least. No need to keep watching the mirrors. He can try and get his head down and get into a rhythm. The next question I have then, can Dan Clues catch Jack Tomlin? In fact, no, more to the point, can Jack Tomlin catch Lee Morgan? Because again, on the previous lap, he was quite a bit quicker than the race leader.
He was, and a 1:36.49 that time, so that is the 15/100th slower than the time that Morgan managed earlier on in the day. Morgan, you suspect, is driving with something up his sleeve at the moment, though, because he's still about 3 seconds clear. If he starts to see Jack Tomlin in his mirrors, if he gets the signal from the pit wall, then maybe we'll find that Lee Morgan does have something in reserve, although of course he did go out of the blocks quite fast in this race, so maybe he's just taken a little bit more out of himself and the car and the tyres than that he would have liked to have done in the early stages, but it's got him where he needs to be. So Lee Morgan still leads, but there we're watching the 41 car of Billy Stiles, and he is ahead of Nikita Abramov now, so Abramov did drop behind him as well with that off at Britain's just under a lap ago. Stiles in the Jedi Racing Pulse team, so one of 2 Jedi factory teams that have operated. He's there in 8th position and having a strong second race here at Oulton.
Yep, so back over the hill then towards the braking zone, and we're watching on screen the 6th place battle now. James Hills and Adam Walker, who's been flying under the radar a bit this weekend as Adam, maybe not quite up to the speed that we've seen him before in that silver and red number 14 car. Billy Stiles getting closer to them now as well as they make their way over Clay Hill and towards the end of what will be the 7th lap. The race leader is Lee Morgan. Jack Tomlin in 2nd position is how far back, I wonder? Well, let's say it's a 36.5 for the leader, that's more like it, and a 36.59 for Tomlin, so the gap goes back out by a 10th. So you might be right, Lee Morgan maybe just reacting now, seeing that the gap is maybe coming down a bit more than he's comfortable with, and just puts down the right foot a bit harder, pulls away, and only fractionally, but the gap is now stabilised at around 3 seconds.
Fantastic racing though from F1000, these Jedi racing cars built in Northamptonshire of course, and powered by a variety of different 1000cc motorcycle engines, but it's a really closely matched formula as we're seeing here this weekend. It's one that really rewards driver talent as well, and bravery too, I would suggest. It's a very good way into single-seater racing too, and it's fantastic to see very good grids here at Oulton Park this weekend. 14 Adam Walker on screen at the moment. Rarely does any testing, does Adam, so possibly when he goes out to qualify he's sort of playing catch up on a lot of the competitors around him, and I think at Silverstone he got the most places gained award even. And that possibly suggests that his racing is better than qualifying, possibly because of the lack of testing. He's there at the moment in 7th place, trying to get the better of number 7 James Hills, who's a driver within the JFK racing team. No, it's not. I'll tell you the correct team in a minute.
Yes, Adam Walker perhaps can get quicker over the weekend, but struggling maybe to find the right overtaking opportunities here to find a way past James Hills. As on screen now, we see Matthew Booth has caught Elliot Mitchell. So this is probably the last of the significant places that might change. Elliot Mitchell was behind Matt Booth in the previous race, and so you'd imagine Booth should be able to get through, the reigning champion, hence why he's carrying number 1 on his car, throws the car out of Old Hall Corner. Running out of time though, we're on to the penultimate lap probably. We'll get one more after this, and Matthew Booth about 3/4 of a second behind Elliot Mitchell for 4th.
Yeah, Hills is a Jedi Racing Pulse team driver, I beg your pardon, so not the teammate of Clues, but I was confused by the similar colour scheme, so apologies to all concerned. Anyway, down towards the right-hander at Shallower's Corner they go. Elliot Mitchell in 4th place. Good strong race this from him, keeping Matthew Booth, the reigning champion, at bay, and he's only got another lap or so to do that for, with Lee Morgan hot-footing his way towards the start-finish line to start his final lap. But these two heading down towards the chicane, so they go to Hislops and then Knickerbrook. And Booth really doesn't seem to have much to offer in the way of an attack, does he, on Elliot Mitchell at the moment? He's following him very closely, but I'm struggling to see where the move's coming from. Yeah, this is the thing. Again, he is quicker than Mitchell, but not sufficiently to make this an easy, in inverted commas, overtake. So he's going to have to try and get creative here. Looks for a good exit from Druids. That'll help because it puts you within striking distance into Lodge Corner. Can he throw it up the inside? No, not quite, but he's so late on the brakes. Matthew Booth almost runs into the back of Elliot Mitchell there at Lodge Corner. I think he was just testing how late he could brake there and whether he was close enough to throw it up the inside. I think the answer probably was no, but getting a bit scrappy now, isn't he, Matthew, in his attempt to get 4th place away? Yeah, absolutely right. So 4th and 5th on screen. Now Lee Morgan's already gone on to his final lap, just under 3 seconds clear of Jack Tomlin, who's having a very good race in the number 60 car. He's in one of the Jedi Racing cars. The cars he won the driver of the meeting at Silverstone. Not sure if he can win the driver of the meeting two races in a row. There is Jack Tomlin in 2nd place now. But this is a very strong performance. Lee Morgan, though, was getting the engine in that car yesterday. Spent most of the day doing it. Didn't get much testing in as a result. So, yeah, if he gets 2 wins out of this, I think he might well earn driver of the meeting. To be fair, had a cracked piston in practice at Silverstone, so that's why the new engine was required. Anyway, up towards Clay Hill and Druids for the final time they go. I don't think Jack Tomlin's going to be close enough to do anything. I think he's a bit close to Lee Morgan than he was at the start of the lap, but nevertheless too far back for anything to change unless some misfortune or mistake befalls race leader Lee Morgan. So towards Lodge Corner for the final time. Both turn their way through there relatively safely. Jack Tomlin certainly marking himself as one to watch for the rest of this season and next. But the victory in race 2 goes to Lee Morgan in the Swallow Hill Homes F1000 Championship. He takes the victory by just over a second in the end from Jack Tomlin, who does another 1:36 lap on the final lap. 3rd place goes the way of Dan Clues, 4th place to Elliot Mitchell, and 5th to Matthew Booth, who couldn't find a way past him in the end. No, he couldn't. Another close battle there across the line. Adam Walker equally not able to get past James Hills. So Hills gets 6th, Walker 7th. Billy Stars faded a bit in the end in 8th. Nikita Abramoff even in 9th place. And Rob Bailey in the yellow machine comes home 10th with Mark Betts 11th. Max Windhauser should be in 12th ahead of Andrew Wheels and Al Rhodes May, with Dax Ward and Dan Gore sadly both non-finishers. Significantly, as far as the championship's concerned, Jack Tomlin lost a few points to Dan Clues in race 1. Clues finishing 2nd, Tomlin 4th. And although he hasn't completely undone that damage, he has at least narrowed the gap again slightly. So they were the top 2 in the championship going into that race. They will still be the top 2, but the gap will have gone out probably by about 2 or 3 points net over the course of the day. Dan Clues should still be the championship leader, but no such repeat of that triple win at Silverstone last time for Dan Clues. He's not going to have it all his own way this year. And Jack Tomlin, in his first season of racing in this championship, I'm guessing Jack's come from a karting background potentially, because these cars do favour generally people who have come from karting. They are basically like a big motorcycle engine go-kart, and Jack certainly seems willing to throw the car around like you would a kart, and arriving on the scene as a novice racer, but clearly one of the pace setters. And I think had it not been for Lee Morgan, that would have definitely been a first victory of the year for Jack Tomlin. So yeah, one to watch for the rest of the year, I think. Definitely, and the rest of the year is 2 more meetings at Snetterton in about 6 weeks' time. I think it's a triple header that they've got there, and then they'll round out the season back at Silverstone, but on the national circuit this time in November. That'll be a 10-round season for the Swallow Hill Homes F1000 Championship. I can see that the cars are heading into park for them. I don't think we're going to be able to get to hear from race winner Lee Morgan though, so what we will do if we can in a few moments time is give you a look at the result. In fact, there it is now. Lee Morgan it is that took the win in car number 56 then, beating number 60 Jack Tomlin by 1.05 seconds in the end. Third to number 2, Dan Clues. Fourth to number 11, Elliot Mitchell. Then Matthew Booth in 5th, only half a second or less than half a second between those two. 6th was number 7 James Hills. 7th to number 14 Adam Walker. 8th was number 41 Billy Stiles, the teenager. Nikita Abramov, 9th in the end after leading the race in the early stages, number 55, and 10th was number 33 Robert Bailey. Mark Betts and Max Findhauser, both who've done Sports 1000 racing in the past, 11th and 12th. And a bit of fun.
How much to do this interview in Terry Tibbs' voice? Oh, my first place, that's fucking amazing. Lee, again, a fantastic race for you. We see you again in the first place spot. Again, an amazing race. Well done.
Yeah, it was easier than I thought it was going to be fair.
You can't say things like that. It was difficult. Your competitors did well.
I mean, I just seemed to just sort of pick a lucky spot in the first corner, and I made like 3 or 4 places, and then from there it was just pick them off as quick as I could. Really, I know I'm always good on cold tyres, so they still made it hard to get past, but once I got to the front, it was just head down. I could see him scrubbling in behind me, so I knew once I sort of got a couple of second gap, I could just sort of control it from the front. So, yeah, actually probably almost for me an easier race than race 1, but you reverse grid races throw up all sorts of results. So, anyone at that top 8 could have won it, and today I did. So, fingers crossed. Yeah, great.
Yeah, no, well done. So is it Oulton Park itself that is familiar to you? Have you raced here quite a lot before, so that's why it was just kind of a head down, crack on?
Yeah, I mean, it's my sort of localish circuit. I literally grew up like 20 minutes down the road, so we did a lot of superkarting here, probably 10 years ago now, and then we did a lot of racing here in the Jedis over the last sort of 10 years, so it's pretty familiar, and it's a track I always do well. I always like this sort of track, Cadwell Park, them sort of places. Anywhere is a bit of off corner cambers, very narrow track, trees. It all throws up a few extra little things in the mix, other than going to somewhere like Silverstone where it's just sort of supreme smooth, and those sort of races where you're dragging each other down the straight, where this is more of a driver's circuit.
Awesome. Well done again on double win today.
Thank you very much.